Yeah, jabronis, it is the Verd, back with you again. Welcome here to another draft recap. This is for a pretty important league, I suppose. A league that I've been wanting to kind of announce for a while now, that I was approached by to be a part of, and was the main reason, honestly, I think this league was truly one of the main reasons why I'm very excited to be back in competitive Mons. This league is called Best Never Rest. It is created by King Clyde or Cleed or whatever you want to say. Basically, he brought me down because he's like, hey, I know that you haven't been playing as much lately, but I'm assembling a league where it's got a lot of the best players in the format, and I see you as one of them. Could you possibly want to join? And I was like, damn, it's a hell of a compliment, and I was really keen to test my skills. So I was like, screw it, why not? And it's got like some amazing coaches in it this season. So we got Gypsy, we got Aki, we got obviously myself, we got LeJohn, Owen, II, Genius, Zern, like Rob Jr., Sticks. There's a lot of coaches. I've probably forgotten someone. I'm sorry. They're just the ones that I can remember off the top of my head. But I am so excited to be a part of this league this season. I think it's just going to be really good competition. I'm not expecting to do exceptionally well. I'm just expecting to play my brand of Pokemon, and if that's successful, then awesome. But if that's not successful, then you know what? I gave it a red hot crack. So it is what it is. But basically, what we're taking us through is my draft recap. So I had third overall pick of the draft. First two picks, I believe, were Tapu Koko went very first pick. No surprise to anybody there. And Lando T went second pick. And I wouldn't have minded using Lando T. I haven't really used Lando T before. But then there was also this Mon, which I hadn't used before, which was Mega Latios, which looked like a lot of fun, and I was keen to try it out. So Big Match John is here, John Cena. Mega Latios, just look at those stats. Like it's ridiculously good. Super awesome addition to my team. My team is very stacked this season, to say the least. Potentially too stacked. Some people have given me crap for like not really thinking about the balance of my team per se, but I think it's fine. I think it's all good. But yeah, so we have Latios here. Big boy, can do a lot of work, nice defogger, roost option, but mainly just a heavy hitter who can either Carmine, DD, like there's lots of options. I'm not going to be going into these Mons too far in depth because I think the thing with draft recaps, right, is that people explain like why the Mons are good, but it's like, if you're watching my videos, there's a good chance you know what Mons are good. And it's more you're just curious about the team that I drafted, and the main thing you're really here to see is like the team building that I do when I build with these Mons. And then also you want to be able to kind of wow, words are hard apparently. Basically what you want to do is just see me build with the team, play with the team. You're not too fussed about the overall analysis of selecting the team. So basically, Latios was there, I was third pick overall, I was like, hell yeah, I'll take that. So came back around to me, and I was trying to think of what I wanted, and a lot of good Mons got taken, and I was kind of just looking at stuff maybe that I hadn't used as much in the past, I guess, or alternatively Mons that I had like that was just like still there was the kind of the premise of this draft. Mons was still there, and hanging around to the end of round 2, a classic Merc pick, Mr. Murkrow, which is Zapdos, which I've called the great one. So back-to-back legendaries. But Zapdos is just incredibly versatile in draft format. Pressure is such a solid ability, being able to defog. So I already got 2 great forms of hazard removal right off the bat, which is super nice. Fantastic special attack, really nice speed tier, and also a decent attack stat. Zapdos can definitely be a nice little surprise there. Just a really overall great one, and it paired really nicely with my next pick, I felt, which was Excadrill. I mean, Excadrill is still on the board. I know that I've recently drafted Excadrill in the NPL as well, but at the same time, it was just there in round 3, and I was like, well, Tita has been taken, and I wasn't like trying to intentionally cuck somebody. I just saw that it was still there and saw that it could be a really nice piece to like a Fairy Dragon Steel Core, potentially, which was really nice. And Driller is just super good for this team because, like, again, like my hazard removal is basically sorted with my first 3 Mons, which is something that normally doesn't happen with a lot of my teams. So that was pretty cool. It gave me more ability to kind of stretch out for other Mons, but Drill is super nice. Obviously, I'm going to try and pair it with a Sandmon a bit later on, but having Drill and 2 Defoggers meant that I was pretty free to grab up Volcarona. it was pretty free at that point. It came back around to me and I was like, hell yes, do I want Volcarona on this team. It's really easy for me to remove hazards, but also at the same time, Volcarona doesn't even need the hazards removed. It can sometimes even just set up on the designated stealth rockers and does not give a shit or attack into them. Volcarona is one of my Z-move Pokemon. For good reason. It's an incredibly good Z-move user, and it's going to hopefully break down a lot of walls for me this season. Very, very excited to be using Volcarona and hoping that, it can bring me a lot of success this season, for sure. And like I said, because I wanted to try and get some sand with Drill, I did actually pick up Hippowdon. Again, pretty much on the wheel, because that was 3rd pick. I chose Hippo over things like Gigalith because I'm not a huge fan of Drill being like an out-and-out ground type. It's not bad per se, but having Hippo do that means that I can really use Drill to its like full offensive potential, which is something I really wanted to do. I felt like that's the way you should use Extra. You can use a bulky if need be, but I feel like its major potential is used when it's an offensive Pokemon for sure. So that's kind of how I wanted to use Drill this week. Not this week, sorry, this draft. And Hippo is really nice. It's another Mon where I haven't really used that much, but I'd love to try it out. Like, obviously the Spadef isn't great, but the overall bulk is so solid on Hippo, and it makes me very excited to use it because it also, again, pairs quite nicely with Latios, Zapdos, things like that. Even Volcarona to an extent, it's really nice with. So yeah, plus it gives me a 2nd Stealth Rocker alongside Drill, which is always nice. And then it came around to me again on the wheel, and I noticed 2 Pokemon were still like undrafted. Like, okay, so it got to this point, and I was talking with people, and I was like, oh man, I could draft a couple of these lower tier Mons and have like a really solid draft, get like a lot of Mons. But I just noticed these 2 Mons that hadn't been picked up, and I was like, why haven't these been drafted yet? This is insane. And I unintentionally sniped my good friend Aki VGC with this next pick. I didn't even realize that he wanted the Pokemon. I honestly did not even realize that he wanted it. And then, yeah, unfortunate Aki, but when people leave me a round 6 Togekiss, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take it. Because Togekiss is insane. We don't play Hustle, we play Serene Grace. It has secondary effects doubled, which means like Air Slash is a 60% chance to flinch. That is muy bueno. The bulk of Togekiss is so damn good. Another Defogger. So I have 4 forms of hazard removal in my first 6 picks. So you can tell that, I was conscious of Volcarona when I was making this team. But Togekiss is just so good, man. No Z moves for Kiss. I was contemplating it, but I decided against it. I wanted to use Kiss more for the fact that like the flinch potential is obviously nice, but also it forms a nice Fairy Dragon Steel Core with Drill, Latios, itself obviously, so yeah. But the special attack is super nice. The speed tier isn't bad. Like my only really bad speed tier so far realistically is Hippo. But I was very happy to pick up Togekiss. I think it's just a solid member to add to the team, but the real ridiculous pick, which technically I got in round 7, and remember this is a league, like I said, with a lot of very, very good players, but I'm going to have to pause this video so I can pop up onto the next part of the screen. In round 7, I got Jirachi. I don't know what to tell you. I couldn't believe it when I got Jirachi round 7. I was like, am I really the luckiest guy right now? I get that maybe it's not as popular anymore in the draft format. I'm not really sure, but it's still a Jirachi. I'm still gonna take it. Like it's still a Jirachi. So this is what I mean. Like I was gonna pick other Mons, and I was like, damn, the flinch core is still here, and it actually doesn't look half bad on my team. Because again, Rachi is like a defensive steal, so that means that again there's less pressure on Excadrill, but alternatively, Drill can be the defensive steal and then there's less pressure on Jirachi, so I can run that aggressively. I need to go into why Jirachi is good. This thing used to be a round 1 pick for a reason, so the fact that I was able to get it round 7 is bonkers. It's not a Z-move user because unfortunately no Z celebrate, so not really what I was looking for in terms of Z, but still, like, over the moon to be picking up Jirachi. I still can't believe that I got this thing in round 7. It's insane. What this unfortunately did mean, though, was I was very low on points at the end, and I was trying to think of how I could kind of finalize my team. And looking at what I had, realistically, all I needed was a water type and a grass type. Because when it came to rocks, I had Hippo, I had Drool, I had Jirachi. I was happy with that. I had all my default support, I had everything else I wanted, so really all I wanted was a good water type and a good grass type. And with the points that I had, the best two I could come up with was first and foremost Slowking. So Slowking, I feel, is a little bit underrated because obviously Slowbro is a fantastic Pokemon. No doubt about it, but I think Slowking definitely has some potential. Obviously, still having access to Regenerator is great, and the Spadef is super nice too because it means you can switch in on a lot of different typings and whatnot. Sure, it's not the best defensive wall, but remember, I'm pairing this thing with a Hippowdon. Not to mention, I'm also pairing it with the last mon that I'm showing, which is more defensive than specially defensive, so it's really solid in that regard. Also, with access to Trick Room, it's a bit of a threat, and I am actually giving this thing Z moves. So, Z Slowking could actually prove to be a bit of a problem. Like, under Trick Room, dropping Z moves could actually be an issue for my opponents, which is really nice. The bulk, obviously, is fantastic, and it, again, just supports the team ever so nicely. 3 Psychics on this team is a little bit... I mean, it's a little bit scary, I guess, but I'm not really too concerned. I have a few mons on my team that just, like, blow away Dark types regardless, so it's not... I'm not overly concerned at this point. My team does kind of lose to things like Weavile, so I got to be careful of that. But, I mean, only one person has Weavile, only one person has Sneasel, so yeah, it is what it is. And with the final remaining points I had on my team, and a mon that I am actually probably, out of everything on this draft, the most excited to use, is my boy Tangela. Because, like, late pick regen core, but the cool thing about Tangela is, like, it's base 115 defense, but because I have an Eviolite on it, like 9 times out of 10, that defense goes up to astronomically stupid levels. And that's so great, because obviously, like, the other cool thing with Tangela that I have done is I made it a Z move user, because the base 60 speed isn't bad, and the base 100 special attack isn't bad, so there are some opportunities for Z Tangela to actually put in a lot of work. I know that means that it loses a bit of its bulk, but you gotta remember, Tangela was initially designed as a mon that didn't have an evolution. So it's actually been given decent bulk, in the sense of, like, the defense and HP. The special defense we don't really talk about, but because of its defensive capability so good, like, Tangela hits, I think, base 540 physical defense with an Eviolite and Fizz Def Nature. It's crazy. It's crazy, but it's really nice pairing with Slowking as that little water and grass core down the bottom. And like I said, because Tangela is so defensive and Hippo is so physically defensive, it means that because Slowking is specially defensive, it's just a really nice, you know, connection between all of them there, which is awesome. I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with the entire team. I know that it's very top heavy. I'm fully aware, and only drafting 9 mons when you could draft 12 can be seen as it being kind of bad, but honestly, like, I'm so keen to use all these mons. It's great. Like, I'm aware that things like, you know, your Weaviles and your Sneasels might just absolutely destroy them, but I could also just easily run berries or certain techs on each of my mons to ensure that I'm not just absolutely destroyed by these behemoths. Like, it is possible to play around them with the team that I have, and I'm going to exhibit that 100% when I play. So I'm very excited to use this team. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I obviously want to try and prove myself against these top tier players, because like I said in my update video, I want to prove that I am a top 10 battler in this format. But I'm also just relishing, like, how fun it's going to be. Like, all these guys who, some of which I look up to, some of which, you know, I'm amazing friends with, and it's just going to be a great experience. And that's the thing that I'm most looking forward to. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed this draft recap. Like I said in summary, Volcarona, Slowking, and Tangela are my Z movers of choice, and Week 1 game is coming up soon against II, and the Connecticut Cobalion is going to be a hell of a game. II is a fantastic person, and going to be a big opponent, so I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, that's going to do it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this draft recap, and check out all the best Never-S coaches. I may try and link them all in the description. I'll try my best. But yeah, my name is Averd. I'm out of this bitch.